Welcome to Red Shirts Remastered, where we're here to bring you this very special video where we're going to be covering here this new Bad Batch final season trailer that just came out of the blue today, right, Patrick?
Yeah, surprised everyone. I literally
Yeah.
got up from like a mid-afternoon nap and I was like, "Whoa, new Star Wars trailer 30
Right?
minutes ago." I was like, immediately watched. Immediately. So, had to jump right into it.
Right, it came out while I was in class today, and I was like not expecting that at all. I didn't think I knew Bad Batch. We were getting this final season of Bad Batch this year, but I wasn't expecting such a trailer so early in the year, considering how long of a gap we had between one and two. And so, good to see that's only like a year gap between two and three here. So it'll be very interesting to see how this one turns out, though. But
Yeah, we
yeah,
knew it was coming eventually. We had been hearing from the production team that things were moving along smoothly, and it was aiming for a early 2024 release. We just didn't know when. We didn't have an official date or anything. So it was really good to get a date today, and also the trailer. So it was coming. We just didn't know when it was coming. And so yes, big surprise today. Of course, Star Wars kicking off the week on a Monday, starting the week off well.
hey, it gives us something good to look forward to on a Monday. Good way to begin the week. So,
As
but
Garfield says, he hates Mondays.
exactly. Unless there's a Star Wars trailer that drops, right? Because there's
Of
so much to
course,
get
yeah,
into.
of course.
There's just so much to get into this trailer here. We both watched it. I think we both enjoyed it overall. I thought
Well,
it
yeah.
looks like a lot of fun stuff is happening. And so let's just go ahead and get right into what is happening here in this. We just have so much happen. We see ship action right at the beginning here.
Yep.
All sorts of stuff is going on. Uh, just promises lots of fun action. We see, I don't remember who this character is, but she's back.
I think if you turn on the subtitles, her name is there. I forget what her name is. There she is, Fee.
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 Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right. So, but yeah, she's back. I'm trying to
And
remember.
this, I just realized after rewatching this, you know what that scene reminds me of? It's the train
Solo.
scene from Solo.
Yep.
Because there's a
Right.
big right hand turn, and there's a ship coming down to meet them. And I was like, part of me was like, oh no, they're gonna kill Fee like they
Yes.
killed the monkey.
Yes. We get a
By
shot of
monkey, I mean, what's his name there? Um,
Coruscant here.
yeah, anyways, whoever his character from Solo.
Right. Got a little shot of Coruscant
Coruscant.
there.
At least we
Uh,
think that's Coruscant. That could be any of the other city planets as well.
I mean, it'd be cool to for like Norshada or something like that.
Arshada or Hosnian Prime.
So we'll
It's a
see.
little too early for Hosnian Prime. They haven't hit full New Republic status yet, but could be.
Right. And then there's this place that's back. This place immediately caught
Yes.
my eye flashing by when I first watched the trailer. I was like, this
And I
place looks
totally missed
familiar.
this. You stopped this. I was like, do I remember seeing that in the trailer? And I was like, yeah, I do. But it's just like you blink and you miss it.
Yeah, nice callback to the original Clone Wars movie.
Yes, it is.
Where they first
That
fought
is the planet Teth.
Ventress, and so we'll get back to that later on. But
Which we
uh,
just saw in the Ahsoka show. When Ahsoka goes back into the world between worlds and she becomes like
right,
childlike for the first time when she falls and meets up
right,
with Anakin. That is the battle at Teth.
right. See here,
So that
here
was
we're
very
yeah.
timely.
So here we have we're in Mount Tantus. We see uh Omega prisoner here. She sees
I could
Crosshair
totally
here.
see little girls dressed up in that gray like prison suit. That's gonna show up in Celebration in Tokyo. Which it looks like. Can you zoom? Is there a way to zoom in on her little arm patch? I was trying to see if that was like a Camino patch or if that was like some
Not
sort of like
sure.
Imperial patch.
Don't have an easy way to zip.
Not a very good angle. Not a good angle. I
Yeah.
guess we can't. It's like it
Um,
kind of looks like the Camino symbol, but it's hard to tell.
we'll look into that. But yeah,
Yep, she had it right there in that scene where she was crouched. That's definitely
Okay,
the Camino
makes
symbol.
sense.
Yeah,
Makes sense. Emperor's back with all the red guards here.
with
What an
clone
epic
command,
shot. Yeah.
they're like clone commandos, but they're like an Imperial clone commando, which
For
I don't remember. Did they bring those in Bad Batch yet? Or no,
we
I think
had
they were just
some.
standard. They were like
We,
standard clone commandos, but they were kind of in that transition because we saw the ones on Mount Tantus.
I mean, these could be what those are. I don't know. I'd have to
Which,
rewatch
if
it.
you're
It's been a
looking,
bit.
look at that group. That looks like most of those people around him are also in similar armor.
Yeah.
But as we know, Dave Filoni and team are trying to do like the transitional armor between clones and stormtroopers. They want to show you that evolution.
Right.
So
Yes.
that's what the whole idea. They want it to feel like it's one fluid transition from clones to stormtroopers.
I very much hope that this final season gives us like the end of this
Mhm.
transition. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that whatever this army is, it's the last clone army that will die off. I'm hoping because I that
Yeah,
that's
by this point, a lot of them have been released by the
for
Empire.
me
By
that's the most
unknown means,
right. For
still don't
me,
know.
yeah. For me, that's the most interesting part of Bad Batch is the transition period of the clones seeing what happened to them. And so,
And we
and
still haven't seen any clones in the original trilogy, which leads me to believe the Empire mass exterminated their own clones. That's my
right,
theory.
right. Here you get this character that we don't really know. Let me
Yep.
say familiar
Still don't know.
backbling.
Very brooding, mysterious.
Very, I know.
Which the fan community is now considering that maybe Tech, but we don't know.
It'd be
That's
very
that's a long
interesting
shot.
because we saw Tech die here. This is from the finale where it
Yep.
showed
Tech
Tech
died. Yep.
dying there.
Right there. Yep. Dead.
Yep.
But as we know, we saw in the previous seasons, Crosshair got mind wiped and reprogrammed.
Yeah. Very true. So we'll
And
see
then
what happens. It would just be interesting though, because it's like that's such a
yep.
long fall, and obviously is in the clouds. But like, what
But
could
you
he
know
have
how Star
survived from
Wars
there?
works.
That's
If you
true.
don't see the body fall, doesn't mean they're not dead. But Darth Maul, he came
It's
back.
true. This is true.
That man got cut in half.
He got cut in half, and he still came back. There's Fennec Shand back,
Shand, yep, she's back.
and
Next shot, I think Cad Bane.
yep, Cad Bane's right
Cad
here,
Bane
the
is
best
back.
bounty hunter. He's back, and is I think that's the same sort of gear in the first Bad Batch season.
Yep, he's basically in that Bad Batch season attire.
Yep. Cool to see more Cad Bane. I'm always here for more Cad Bane. And then that was
Me too.
also Wolf that we saw right there.
Yeah, Wolf. He's there.
Wolf is back.
And as you can see, you got clones there.
Yeah.
You got that new stormtrooper kind of like transition on the left. Sorry, clone commando on the right, and then in the back left corner there is the like stormtrooper transition.
Very interesting.
Which I think they showed that they've shown that in previous seasons. It's like you could start to see it looks more like a stormtrooper, but it's still kind of got that aesthetic of a clone trooper, a little bit still in there.
Right. Very cool.
Then we got Omega pulling back on the stick.
Yeah.
Which is just her. The whole thing with Bad Batch is she's been learning to fly over all the seasons.
That's true.
I think this is where she's going to prove she can now officially fly for realsies.
Very true.
Yep.
What were you telling me about this? What is a ship that you think it is?
So I've seen some ships that they've used for Dathomiri type stuff in Clone Wars way back when Asajj was in the original Clone Wars show. Early seasons. I think it was like seasons 1 through 4-ish of Clone Wars.
Okay.
And very similar designs. I think Mother Talzin might have even flown on a ship at one point of similar designs. I think that's going to be Ventress's ship. When they do the Dark Disciple stuff.
Is this clone trooper?
We'll get to that in a minute.
Do you think this clone trooper is anyone special in particular? Because that looks like some sort of special coloring there. Or is that someone else?
It looks special, but it could be just the way it's lit with the orange reflecting off of it.
I can't tell who usually uses that gun, because it could just be one of the Bad Batch members.
I don't think so. It's because you can clearly see white, which the Bad Batch hasn't typically
True.
worn white. They're generally black.
Very true.
So if I had to guess, that might be somebody that's with Now, have we got Cody back? Has Cody showed up yet?
I don't
The
think we've
show.
really seen him again since he kind of went
'Cause
rogue that one time.
we've heard a lot of rumors that Cody might show up in the show at some point.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
that's possibly Cody on the far side there,
I don't think so. It
kind of
seems like a
walking away. But
different
it's hard to tell.
liking. It seems like a different sort of shaped helmet though to me, like more
But then
specialized. I
we
could
also
tell.
got that new clone that wore the blue armor.
Right.
I'm trying to remember his name. I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now.
There's some sort of creature here. I don't know what that is. Hold on.
We don't know. It reminds me of the ones. Oh, never mind. I don't know. That might be something from. I'm trying to think. Well, we saw later on. Was it further in this trailer? We see an alligator creature or something. I think coming up.
Just before.
Further back, right there. They could be on the same planet. It could be just wildlife on the same planet.
True.
We don't know. So we don't know what that planet is. There's so many forested planets in Star Wars.
And here's Mount Tantus.
Mount Tantus. Yep.
Where Echo's held at. Or not.
Started in Legends and got brought back to canon.
Crosshair and Omegas, that's where she.
Or Crosshair and Omega, and all the experimented stuff going on right now.
Yep. And let's see, lots of battle stuff here. And when we start hearing Asajj Ventress here, and that's where we get her, right here.
Her yellow lightsaber.
Her yellow lightsaber. Her yellow lightsaber.
We have not seen many yellow lightsabers in canon. In canon, currently, the only ones who have yellow lightsabers are Jedi Temple guards. Technically, Luke Skywalker got a yellow lightsaber in the comics between episode 4 and 5. Wasn't it? Between 4 and 5? No, it might have been 5 and 6.
I think it's 5 and 6, because that relates to the New High
Republic. 5
and
6, because that's the one, yeah.
It relates to the New High Republic stuff, and a lot of other characters in High Republic are also using yellow lightsabers.
Have yeah.
Like the lead character, or one of the... I guess you'd call her the main lead character of Phase 1, Var Chris.
Yeah.
She used a yellow lightsaber. And so...
I'm trying to think, was there another one that had a yellow saber? I'm blanking.
There's several other members in High Republic. I don't remember exactly who. But
and then, of course, in Legends, you have a few characters that had yellow. Right. Like, was it Bastila? Didn't she have yellow?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And for a second, I was about to say Rey, and then I remembered hers is more of like an orange. Kind of like a gold orange.
I'd have to bring it up, but I thought it was more yellow. But
hers is more of like a gold, I think. Like a goldish orange. But it all just depends on the light it's into.
However, this goes into the question, though.
You watch, they're gonna connect this to Rise of Skywalker somehow. I'm just kidding.
Of course. Well, here's the thing, though.
No,
you have a point there.
You know how this ends.
Let's break down both things that you just said there. First, connect to Rise of Skywalker. Of course, it's all connecting there, right? You have even though the movies didn't do a great even though the movies didn't do a great lead up, there's this whole point of the Emperor learning to use cloning technology for himself, for him to later eventually be cloned. That's always been the end goal, was for the Emperor to bring back, or for him to clone himself so he could be this eternal force as shown in Rise of Skywalker. We just never had that good lead up, but this overall does kind of build into that, right? I mean, it's all about this cloning stuff, and I was shutting it all down and then using it for himself, and then we obviously see all this cloning stuff also come back with Mandalorian. Even though they're not directly linked, they are all linked in universe. Second point, Dark Disciple, absolutely fantastic novel. It is definitely, I definitely think it's one of the better canon books to read. Like, it's, if you're a Clone Wars fan, it's a must read. It's
a must read.
It is a must read. You get such a fantastic story expanding on the characters of Quinlan Vos and Asajj Ventress. It is absolutely beautiful. Cut from a...
Which that means we are getting Quinlan Vos back as well.
That would be really cool if that's what it means. Uh,
I don't see how you can do this without him. There's just no way.
it's
Their story is so intertwined. Like how you can do that, I don't see that happening.
it's just so interesting though because we get this great story in Dark Disciple to where they grow
Mhm.
very close with each other, and it ends with spoiler alert. Asajj Ventress dies by the hands of Dooku.
She dies. Yep.
Near the end of uh near the end of Clone Wars, and the novel ends with Quinlan Voss burying
Mhm.
Asajj on her home planet of Dathomir. Absolutely
And
beautiful. One of the most heartbreaking scenes that you'd ever read in a Star Wars novel. Absolutely amazing.
one of the weirdest burials you'll ever read.
It's it's fantastic though because it's all about her honoring her past, right?
Yeah,
Of her
yeah,
being
yeah.
buried there, right? And so immediately when I saw this, I was thinking, what in the world is going on here? Are they reviving
Yeah,
her? That's what came up in my mind first, and I was like, "Oh Lord, they're
yeah.
reviving her." Because at this point in Bad Batch, if they're encountering her, which is what it looks like, this is already like a
Mhm.
year or two at least into the Imperial reign, uh,
Yeah.
and so I don't like whatever implications there. To me, it looks like they're bringing her back, and this isn't a flashback. Um, and I don't like that. I don't know
And
how they
I
can
think
do
I'm
a good
the opposite
justification.
in here. 'Cause I don't think there is. I'm like with you. I don't think there is good enough justification. I think they're gonna leave her dead. However, there are three things that come to the top of my mind right now. Um, I don't know if you can pull it up. Looking at the Ahsoka show, we just went to a new
Mm-hmm.
galaxy with Night Sisters. She is a Night Sister.
Very true.
This ties directly back into Dathomir.
Yes.
Now, there's also precedent of the Night Sisters being able to use their magic to technically, quote unquote, revive certain people. It's not really, it's more of magic control of a dead body. It's more like a
Right.
zombification.
But
But
here's the
we've
thing,
never
though.
seen zombification of somebody who was a force wielder.
What the other thing is, too, is
That's their magic.
whenever
So.
somebody is sort of possessed like that, I'd say, it's very obvious that they were possessed, right? Look at
It's
the
very
end of
possessed,
Ahsoka.
and none of their original show or their soul is there
Right.
whatsoever.
And so
Or
I
in the
don't know.
case I'm trying to remember the name of the character off the top of my head. One from Ahsoka. She was kind of imbued with magic. She was still alive, so her soul was still intact.
Mother Talazin?
No, not Mother Talzin. The one that gave the blade to in Ahsoka. I'm trying to remember her name.
Oh,
Yeah, so she was still alive, but imbued with the magic as like a buff per se. um, so yeah, the magic can be used to help increase power on certain people now in Star Wars,
Morgan
and it
Elsbeth
also
is who you're thinking of.
Morgan Elsbeth. Yes, so she was still alive when they gave her the magic. It wasn't a full possession.
Right.
Um, she was basically given a stat increase in RPG terms.
Yeah, I
Um,
just hate this sort of idea though that Asajj's story ended on such a beautiful note that bringing her
I
back
don't.
in any way is just
That's
gonna
why I don't
sort of
think they're
diminish
bringing her
that.
back. I
Yeah, I
don't
don't.
think Filoni wants to bring her back. I think he understands because he's in the creative seat now at Lucasfilm. I think story wise, they're gonna do something new with her in the Dark Disciple timeline, which they confirmed to us today. You showed me
Oh
the
yes,
post on
let's
X,
bring that up.
which we
Let's
can share
bring
that
that
as
up.
well. A lot of fans were worried this was going to take place during Bad Batch, and they
So
said
yeah,
any new
let's.
storytelling with Ventress will align with the events of Star Wars Dark Disciple. Which I don't know if you can pull up a tab for me real quick, Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
Search Clone Wars chronological order.
What are you needing for it?
Um, it's the official StarWars.com page right there
Okay.
at the top. If you scroll down near the bottom, keep scrolling all the way down near the bottom. Season 6. Oh, they took it out. It used to be there. So right around season 6, season 7 on the timeline, there used to be a spot there. It would say Dark Disciple and then certain chapters of the book
Oh, I didn't
between
know about
season around
this.
the end of season 6 and season 7. But they took it down temporarily. I think it was around the time season 7 came out because they wanted to focus more on season 7. And
Hmm,
they've gone back and reposted the list on their website as it kind of originally was, but not really. They've edited it a little bit. So
interesting.
it is right there between season 6 and season 7 for those of you guys who don't know. And that fits perfectly with the story. And the reason I think they'll still keep her dead is because can you go to Google Images real quick and search up Darth Maul Clone Wars season 7 lightsaber?
Okay. Yeah, I got you. One moment. Keep on talking.
Okay. Anyways, so we're gonna take a deeper dive here, just briefly. Um, so she has a specific design they used for the Dark Disciple book. It came out later on. It's her emitter on her lightsaber has holes around it. It's a very special lightsaber design, and it shows up in Clone Wars season 7. Maul reconstructs half of his lightsaber. It's that half over there on the left side. Sorry, it's not the emitter. It's the yeah, it is the emitter right there. Those holes. That is confirmed by Dave Filoni. That is the half of Ventress's lightsaber.
Very interesting. That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yellow blade. And
Makes
the
sense
other
because that's
half
the
is
traditional.
his usual. That's his Darth Maul traditional. Yeah. So somehow they're gonna tie this in with Maul, which is perfect because we've wanted a continuation of Maul's story post. Well, not quite up to the events of, but will lead up to eventually Solo
Right.
content at some point. So this
That's
will tie in more with his story and the stuff with the Shadow Collective, which they kind of started teasing more in Clone Wars season 7, and sorry, not Shadow Collective. Shadow Collective's Mandalorian. Um,
if this is a part of a setup for the rumored animated show where it'd be like Darth Maul's sort of like beginnings with
Maul,
Crimson Dawn,
Crimson
I am
Dawn, and all the
100% here
syndicates,
for it. I
all
would
the syndicate stuff
absolutely
is.
love that so much because that we haven't really seen his beginnings of it that much. We have
Which
Son of Dathomir and the beginning or the end of Clone Wars season 7, but other than that, we don't really know
yes.
anything about his involvement in Crimson Dawn, and I'd love to
And I
see more of
can't
that.
remember if it was 2019 or 2020. Lawrence Kasdan's son, John Kasdan, they wrote Solo together.
Hmm.
And they were talking about what a potential future could be post Solo. And he specifically, John Kasdan, said they were talking about writing a story involving the syndicates and possibly even a syndicate war storyline that would take place in that part of the
Yeah,
timeline. But that would fit perfectly tying in with some of this as post Bad Batch content, but it would also be post Solo, post Kenobi.
I definitely think
Or
something Darth Maul's coming.
technically it could be pre-Solo. But yeah, the
Yeah,
itch for more Darth Maul ever since Clone Wars season 7 ended, everybody wants more Maul content.
I think it's coming because we had that Ray Park incident, and Star Wars made
Which we
such a
won't
huge
discuss.
right. We're not going to discuss what
I
that
think
incident
Ray
was,
Park I
but
think Ray Park may be done with Star Wars after that.
however, point I'm getting to here though is after that
Let's just say
happened, Star Wars made a big deal about, hey, we're not associated with this guy anymore, which is very odd because this was like 2-3 years after Solo came out. So it's like, why would they make such a big deal when we wouldn't think of anything with Darth Maul involved? So that's why I feel like
without getting
maybe there was something Darth Maul involved or that they're making, and maybe that idea was turned over into
yeah,
an animated project. And if that's
yeah.
true, if that's the next thing we're getting after Bad Batch, I'm 100% here for it. That's what I want most from Star Wars right now, if that's what it is.
And for anybody confused about what happened with Ray Park, we won't get into the full description. All we will say is Darth Maul publicly posted his lightsaber. That's
Enough
that's
said.
that's that's what we're getting
Enough
at. Enough
said.
said.
Enough said. Anyway, back to Bad Batch, though. This final season trailer, I think it showed a lot of action, a lot of fun to be had from this final season. What a this is such a badass poster we have here. The final
I love
season,
the
I love
poster.
this. Absolutely amazing.
It's
I love it.
and you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of uh do you remember the Clone Wars when they announced season 7?
Yes.
Uh and they had like the all the helmets lined up. I don't know if did they make that as a poster? That might have only been in the trailer. Season 7 trailer poster. Search helmets. Helmets, maybe?
Uh, Oh, I
There it
remember
is. Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah. It kind of
tease.
reminds me of it's even got the sparks. Look, it's
Yeah,
the same.
yeah, yeah.
Clone Wars saved. There it is. Look at that. That's a perfect side by side, dude. You want to print those and put those side by side. It's like the end of the clone arc now for
Yeah.
both shows.
I think this one. I
That's a
think this
cool
new one's done
callback.
better. Yeah, very cool.
I mean, obviously the lighting's better, but yeah. I think they made the Clone Wars one kind of in a hurry because that one was for San Diego Comic Con.
Right.
So this one's more of a formal Disney Plus promotional. Which I wonder, this might be one of those ones you might be able to go pick up in a theater that they print. So check your local theater maybe, because Disney Plus
Probably
does put these
not.
in theaters on occasion.
Well, not that I've seen, but we'll see.
Not lately, they haven't been, but maybe you might get lucky. Check your local theater. You might just get lucky and get a Bad Batch poster.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this season. I think it has the potential, hopefully, to be the best Bad Batch season. I definitely felt like season 2
I
was
think
better
so.
overall
Yeah.
than 1. So if they can make 3 even better and off on a stronger
I
note,
will
I think
say
that'd be
though,
awesome.
even though I think season 2, you're right, was stronger, I still do really, really like that season 1 finale. The whole like submerging of Camino.
Oh, first half of it
To
was great. Second half
Smoke
sucked.
City. Second half sucked, but of the season, yes. But I like the finale. The finale was actually pretty good. And then it set up all the stuff with Crosshair and all that fun stuff, which we're finally getting a full conclusion to that now. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm glad this show actually got all the way up to a season 3 because, as you guys know, the last show that came out, animated, that wasn't technically Clone Wars, because Clone Wars was technically an old show they brought
Resistance?
back, was Resistance, and it only got 2 seasons.
Yeah, problem for that too is it's made for a different audience
Yep.
too.
It was
They were
a
trying
whole
something
different
different.
demographic. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. It's good to see Bad Batch. It's good to see that they're had a complete vision beginning to end, I think. And so it's good to see this vision fully being brought around, and I hope that makes for a tighter third season. We'll see.
And I like how the technology has caught up with the times, and I think the thing that stuck out to most of us with this whole show, whether it was seasons 1 or 2 and now going into 3, the environments are way more artistic and way more vibrant and very believable. They look very realistic for an animated show. You know, there's a few times, Spencer, you and I, we were staying up late at night watching premiere episodes of this show as they dropped, and you and I were like going like, "Holy cow! Look at these sets; they're fantastic."
Bad Batch
There
just
was like
shows
there
how
were some
great
space shots too, even in the show. We were like, "Holy cow! That looks like it's straight out of a Star Wars movie."
the shot that stands out most to me in Bad Batch, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else they do in season 3. Is there's later in season 1, like I want to say around episode 14, maybe 13.
Okay.
There's this thing where they're in this giant forest. It's the episode where there's like commandos and stuff. But that forest there with that lighting looked absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing animation that they do over there for Bad Batch. And so it's absolutely great.
Yeah.
And I think overall I just can't wait to see what's coming from this final season. This trailer was really action packed and lots of fun stuff to expect.
And who knows what they're gonna do with Ventress? I mean, there's so much potential for this, and tie-ins with Dooku, and now we have Palpatine confirmed in the show, voiced by Ian McDiarmid. So,
yes.
and of course, as we know, anything Palpatine is involved with is very dastardly and evil, and there's plots on top of subplots on top of mini subplots with Palpatine, because that's just how he thinks. So who knows? And you know for a fact they're gonna tie this directly into Mando. It's gonna happen.
I will say my number one wish for this season is Boba Fett. We're having all these hints as to how Omega could be related to Boba Fett. I feel like there's a linkage.
We haven't really touched that enough.
It feels like he has to be in it some way or another. You know, like they keep on giving all these hints and stuff seemingly, and so it's like I need it. And so I hope that's what we get.
I haven't played it yet, but I know you've played this. He shows up in Jedi Survivor.
He does.
And that's where's that in the timeline? Is that
That's
only
a
what,
bit closer to New Hope, I believe.
I don't know. I know
That's a bit
Fallen
later.
Order was only like 5 years after.
Really? I thought it was later, but I don't know.
I think
Maybe.
it's like 14 BBY. I gotta look it up.
No, good question. Um, as far as Bad Batch goes, do you have any other sort of final thoughts on this trailer before we wrap up? I feel like we've covered it all
Um,
really well.
really cool shots. They're setting up some really cool stuff. I know you're interested to see what's happening on Mount Tantus because they've been setting it up, and now that Palpatine's involved, which we knew he always was. Um, I'm interested to see what that is. They've been teasing it for so long. We don't even know what it is. It could just be a one-off. They could just tie it right back in with the Moff Gideon thing and be like, "It's cloning, you idiots."
I
I'd be
think
like,
that's what
"Okay,
it is. I definitely
we
think
kind
that's
of
what it
figured."
is.
Think it is.
No, I mean that's the whole thing with
Force
Tantus.
cloning,
Here.
which
On that
actually
note,
would tie in with the stuff going on as far back as early Clone Wars, where he was trying to get young, Force-sensitive children.
it also ties into what Mount
It all
Tantus
ties in with that.
was originally in the original Legends novels.
Uh huh.
Just throwing that out there. Um, but yes,
What was that?
Mount Tantus was originally shown in the Heir to the Empire trilogy. That's where Mount Tantus originally first appeared,
Uh
and
huh.
that's where also cloning was first ever appeared in Star Wars as well. I
Did
believe
that
right
tie
from
in
Mount
with like the
Tantus.
Palpatine cloning for Dark Empire? Was that also Tantus?
That I
Was
don't know.
that
I haven't read that, but
okay?
there's
So it's
another
more like
character
cloning
that's
research.
I know cloning's involved with it. I've been reading it. I haven't quite gotten there yet, but it's definitely involved with it.
I think that's the direction they're going. They're trying to set it up and tie it in with the Mandalorian stuff with Gideon trying to clone himself.
That's what it very much seems like. So we'll see. We'll see. Lots of great stuff here to look forward to in Bad Batch,
Exciting
and
times. 1 month to go.
1 month ago. What was it?
And
February 21st, right?
yep, and no mid-season break at all this time. So
Right.
they're just gonna keep it moving.
It's gonna keep on going. It's gonna end on May 1st. So lots of stuff to look forward to every week from Star Wars. February to May. Great to see. And I guess you could come back here to Red Shirts where we'll be doing more Star Wars coverage, as we are
Also, big
all big
shout
Star
out.
Wars
We
fans.
just hit 100 followers on our X. So thank you guys out there in Red Shirts Nation for your wonderful support over there on social media. We love you
Correction,
guys.
it's called Twix. Thank you very much. And
Twix, you're right, Twix. Twix,
and
as we call it here, Red
but yes,
Shirts.
but yes, excellent. Thank you all for following there. We have all our other socials right down below here for our link tree. You can find all our socials there. And join us next time here on Red Shirts Remastered. See you all later.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.